successful carriage of passengers and freight. That's what British railways are out for. That's what railways are always out for. And there is always something yet to be developed. Always something ahead. Get more working hours out of locomotives than ever before. And when they do stop for maintenance, bring them into depots like Canton near Cardiff, one of the largest and best equipped in Europe. Thought and design have gone into these new depots. You really can get at the work and make a job of it and turn the engines out again quickly and confidently. The days when maintenance meant a lead hammer and a pair of steps have gone for good. Closer tolerances and more advanced engineering demand more know-how and more subtle equipment. The men who maintain diesel engines at Swindon will tell you that when they test and measure and recondition and balance, they begin to uncover new problems. Some of them quite ugly. Why are cylinder liners corroding? Nobody on Earth knew what part mechanical vibration plays in causing corrosion till the research people at Muswell Hill set up their experiments. That's what research people do. They want to know the facts. What amplitude, what frequency, what effect. And they'll go to endless trouble to find out. And that's the only way to set about it. In many railway problems, vibration is the villain. In the new engineering laboratory at Derby, they've installed some man-sized apparatus so they can really study vibration problems. Here they can accelerate full-scale life tests, cramming a century of traffic into a few weeks, on a bridge girder, for instance. And at the end, they'll know more about how much life there is in a girder of this type. Or rails. They get a pounding in real life, but that's nothing to the pounding they get in the laboratory. And accurate experiments lead to more understanding of the reasons for failure. Here, complete sections of track, ballast, subsoil and all, can be subjected to imitation traffic loadings, more concentrated than the real thing. And that's a bit more exact knowledge stowed away. They call it the study of dynamic instability in rail vehicles, but they mean deliberately setting a model track out of true. They mean installing a radio in the test trolley which runs on this track. The radio will send information to recording instruments during the brief test run. They mean pumping energy, vibrations again, into a real full-sized four-wheeled wagon to find out how its suspension system will behave at today's higher speeds. They mean building a roller rig and running a model bogie on it to find out what kind of suspension will give the passengers the smoothest ride. So if you don't get a lap full of beer, that's not just good luck, it's good research. More research people. Adhesion, that's the opposite of wheel slip, is their problem. Wheels slip when the rails are greasy, but that's not all. They slip in certain definite places, here at Totnes, for example. So the scientists made accurate measurements of the friction on the rail surface with a specially designed instrument, and plotted them and computed them. They got onto a number of liquids which might help to reduce slip or increase adhesion. This seemed a good line, so they made tests in their laboratory at Willesden. In the laboratory, they could reproduce slip at will. They could make exact measurements and gain knowledge. They took the most promising anti-slip liquids out on the track at a now famous test site near Diss in Norfolk. There were a few snags to iron out in the distribution apparatus, but this was how the research team discovered secondary conditioning, a cause of wheel slip which had nothing to do with greasy rails. And what's more, they got onto a way of curing it. So today, at places like Leeds, you'll find trains helping themselves to the wheel slip cure, just where it's needed most. It's all a matter of knowing how. Not just one man knowing how, but the assembly and application of a whole collection of know-how. This job is going to be a glass fibre railway carriage door. Light, durable, rust-proof, and made in one piece at Eastleigh. Organic chemists, resin experts, stress men, glass technicians, designers, draftsmen, pattern makers, on and off the railway, all contributed, perhaps without knowing it, to this, the door of the future. Research, thought, plans, designs have led to so much that's changing on British railways today. The remodelled Ashford Works will use new techniques to build 1/3 of all British Railways' new wagons, to new designs and new standards. Smaller wheels with disc brakes give a lower floor and a greater height for payload, still within gauge. Ashford built Cartick 4 in 9 weeks from the drawing board. It embodies the articulated chassis principle in fully fitted units of 4 car-carrying rail vehicles. 5 units, 20 vehicles, will run as a through train load carrying up to 200 cars. Loading and unloading is quicker than before, as car manufacturers and dealers saw during this demonstration at Marylebone. Through train loads moving on regular schedules at high speeds are the coming thing, liner trains amongst them. And for general merchandise, that means containers. And containers means straddle cranes, like this prototype now being tested in Scotland. Because this kind of crane comes to the load, it can handle big flows of container traffic quickly and efficiently. Railways have got to make the best of both worlds. Rail-borne for the long hauls, road-borne for the short. A new system called Leapfrog gives petrol and other bulk liquids all the benefits of container transits. 4,000-gallon tanks door to door without transshipping the liquid. Thought and research have gone into the side loaders which move the tanks from one vehicle to another. Design and development into the tanks themselves, and into the rail and road vehicles that carry the tanks. It's the same story in coal movement, the oldest rail traffic. At Darlington, the development engineers devised this equipment, which will empty the hopper wagons without stopping the train. Continuous feed for Britain's new power stations and coal concentration depots. Bulk traffics, through train loads. Once you start on it, it seems obvious. Today, cement is moving this way in light alloy wagons. 8 tons tear, 27 tons payload. equipment at railhead sucks the cement up into storage, ready to be road-loaded to where it's wanted. It just had to be thought of and designed and developed and put into practice. Research, development, design. Sometimes it's almost spaceman stuff. In the northeast region, railwaymen talk to each other by microwave radio now. It hasn't quite done away with the switchboards, but it has put 3,000 railway telephone extensions on direct dialing, linking York, Darlington, Newcastle, Middlesbrough, Leeds, and points north to Berwick-on-Tweed. A high-speed teleprinter network as well for all kinds of railway operating information. A really modern all-railway communication network, right where railway history was made. Communications, that's the railway's job. Some railwaymen think Britain has been an island for long enough. Crossing the water to Europe in your own car ought to be a lot easier. That's what they thought, and that's what they did, with the drive-on, drive-off ferry service between Newhaven and Dieppe. It's another example of railways adapting themselves, their services, and their equipment to today's needs and traffics. And behind the push-button controls lie thought, research, planning, and design. But the day-to-day business of railways is chiefly railways. And they are still demanding the best thought, research, planning, and design that men can give them. It may be a new method of doing a job, laying long welded rail on concrete sleepers, for instance. That's not a new requirement, but there's always room for improvement. Mechanize the operations, assemble the parts off-site, reduce track occupation. It sounds simple, but it takes a bit of working out. You too can be a boffin or a backroom boy if you can improve on the Boyer-Schwarz method. What about crossings and points, did you say? This crossing at Retford is so square, it's rectangular. The Central Electricity Generating Board disliked it intensely, and so did British Railways. It was a major obstacle to bringing 5.5 million tons of coal a year, in 21 extra trains a day, to the new West Burton A generating station. So, a dive-under to be planned, designed, and carried out. 1/3 of a million cubic yards of earth to shift, 26,000 tons of concrete to pour, 530 tons of steel reinforcement, and 51 miles of pre-stressing wire to put in place. And a new motor roadway into the bargain. And like so many important jobs, almost nobody seemed to notice it was going on. Not like Euston, the weekend of June the 20th, 1964. Euston was definitely not looking its busy 130-year-old self. The planners of Britain's biggest railway electrification had decreed that this was the golden opportunity to have 48 hours uninterrupted work, relaying tracks to 9 new platforms, with new signalling and new track circuiting. It was a major operation in a major scheme which includes the complete rebuilding of Euston and Birmingham New Street. And that's not the half of it. Main line electrification. Liverpool and Manchester to Nuneaton already complete. Electrification racing up to terminus in London. And all the work that goes with it is keeping up. Rugby new box going into commission. It replaces 21 old boxes. It controls 36 miles of line. A flick of a switch will do what 22 lever movements used to do. Continuous track circuiting presents the signalman with an instant diagram of every train and every movement, and every failure of the smallest component. Exhaustive tests on pantographs and the overhead wires which carry the 25,000 volt current. Test runs at 100 miles an hour. tests in tunnels to prove and improve the suspension of the overhead wires. Tests that go on all weekend to probe the whole complex system till it's all spot on. Miraculous? Wonderful? No, just the railways keeping up with the times, taking their responsibilities seriously, getting on with their work in the best way they can. No miracles, but a steady, unremitting application of thought, research, planning, design and development. Hard work, but worth every minute of it. For there's always something yet to be developed, always something ahead.